guys, welcome back to Car B&B. I'm Jay. We're in my man cave today. I'm a total freaking nerd. My wife's upstairs doing her little cooking videos, so I got kicked out of upstairs, so I had to film this down here. So I kind of wanted to go over easy ways to get started with car sharing. If you don't have good credit, ways to get started. It costs a little bit of money, but it's still easier than buying full cars. So when I first started with Turo, about 3-4 years ago, my very first car was a Cadillac Escalade 08. I actually bought it from my buy here, pay here place. My credit at the time was not that good. I was parking like a 530, something like that, about 3-4 years ago. I'm a 750 now, but back then I was like a 5 something. So I had to buy cars cash, and at the time I had the money, and I thought cash was king, so I didn't mind putting down big down payment. So I had an 08 Cadillac Escalade. I put about $4,500 down on it. I bought it with 78,000 miles on it. The car was a rock. It was solid. Barely had any issues out of it. But of course, if you're looking at this video, you're not looking at this video to put $4,500 down on a car. So, best way to start off with Turo, and you know how to map out what you want to do. Now, obviously, you're probably going to be starting with lower level vehicles. My advice to everyone when I first started my Turo and get around business, the first things I was doing was I checked the demographics of my area as far as what's already renting. I'm looking at several things. I go on Turo, I type in my location, and I look at the cars in the area. Now, one tricky thing, always put the date out far in advance. Don't just do it for today and tomorrow, and then all of a sudden and look at all the listings. Yeah, that's not feasible. So what you want to do when you're looking for certain cars, when you're on the Turo app and you're looking for cars, map it out maybe a month in advance, because what happened is people are booking cars as we speak. So you won't actually get to see all the cars that's available because they won't show up in the search bar. So look a month in advance so you can see all the type of cars that's in your area. So you're looking for several things. You're looking at what books out, how often it stays booked. You're looking at other people's reviews for lower level vehicles. So we're not looking at Mercedes and Range Rovers. We're looking at the lower level cars. So when I go to the search bar, I put in $40. I put in $40 and less for that area, and that's how I see what's really popping. What you're looking to do here is we're not looking to reinvent the wheel. We're not trying to get cute. We're not trying to get special. You know what I mean? Like whatever's working for someone else will work for you. So and I got this method because there was at one point Atlanta had like this influx of Volkswagen Jettas. So like people wanted Jettas for whatever reason. So it was a lot of them, and all of them had mad trips. One had 84 trips, 30 trips, 40 trips, 10 trips, 15 trips. And here's another thing. Just because you see a car may have like 5-6 trips, don't get it twisted and think that that's not a good rental. Because sometimes what happens is you get a long-term rental. So it's not going in and out as frequent. So someone will book the car for 2 weeks, someone will book the car for 3 weeks, but that's still only considered one review. So if anything, you're looking at how recent all the reviews are to determine if that's a good car or not. And also, another thing that doesn't make a car bad is also the owner. Turo is peer-to-peer, so you're kind of looking at different review structures. So what that means is you'll have, let's say Laura, she has 3 stars on her last 5 trips. So she has 3 stars. So that's not going to be a car that's really going to be booking that well. So that's not a good way to get a full, understanding of what you're trying to buy. So let's say you're looking at a Toyota Yaris, but you see this one Yaris. She's been an owner she's been a part of the Turo community since, let's say, March, and you notice since it's now May, and you notice in those 2 months she's only done 2 trips or 3 trips. If you look at her reviews will tell you why, because customer service is everything when it comes to Turo and get around this rideshare. So don't get that twisted with, okay, let me not buy that car because it's not producing. Because as long as you got 5-star reviews, honestly, any car you're going to put on the Turo app is going to make money. Not all cars, but most cars, especially economy cars. So how do you obtain these cars? Now, I'll advise everyone to work on your credit first while you're buying these cars. It's so essential. Most of my cars I've gotten with no money down. I did start off with the buy here, pay here method though. And it worked out for me great. So you got a couple ways. You could get with someone who has a dealer's license and go buy cars cash. You can do that, but it's a risk kind of buying those cars on the fly. When you're buying them from the auction, you don't know what condition it is. You might get caught up in the miles, and that's another thing. You cannot list on Turo any car that's over 130,000 miles. Remember that. When it comes to, getting cars from an auction, as your first 1 or 2 cars, I really wouldn't do that. That's not something. I'm sorry, someone's calling. I'm trying to decline it. Okay. Like I said, I really wouldn't do that. That's not what I would do. I would go to a buy here, pay here lot. You gotta be careful with buy here, pay here lots if you're not gonna buy a car cash. Only reason is some of them got really shit reviews. So typically when I go to buy here, pay here lots, and a buy here, pay here lot is a place where they don't do credit check or they do a soft pull and they're gonna give you a car, you just have to put more money down. It's not really that bad. You're talking about economy cars because you're talking about maybe $500 down, $1,000 down, $1,500 down. Nothing that bad, but you still need to be mindful of the mileage. Always at a buy here, pay here place, get the car checked out. I don't give a damn what. I don't care if it's a Hyundai, a Volkswagen. When it comes to buy here, pay here places, reliability is always going to be, it should be the top thing on your mind. I don't care how beautiful the car is. Always check that out. Now, when you get these buy here, pay here cars, the car note is also essential. Just because it's $500 down and $1,000 down, that's not the only thing. That's not the only thing that makes a great car. A great investment. Also, the car note plays a big pivotal role. For instance, like my Escalade. The reason I got involved with Turo because the car note was too high. I was paying $650 a month for a Cadillac Escalade, and the problem with a Cadillac Escalade, the problem with that is this was an '08, and it shouldn't have been a $600 a month car. The car was only worth maybe at the time about $25,000. Typically, when you buy cars new or you don't go through buy here, pay here place, those car notes like around $350, $400. They're around that. They're around that level. So apologies guys, the video is going to kind of twitch a little bit. People are calling my phone. I have an Airbnb business too, and I think a scammer just booked and they're blowing my phone back to back. So if I kind of get off subject or it look like I just kind of lost my talking point, is because they keep blowing on my phone and it's so annoying. But my Galaxy S10 has the best video quality. I prefer it over my cameras actually, so apologize if it looks as if the video kind of shifted somewhere else. But going back to the Escalade, picking back up on the Escalade, my car note was way too high. I still made mad money on the Escalade. Don't get it twisted. I was doing the Escalade for $100 a day. So even if the car note is $600, you only need 6 or 7 days to kind of pocket the car note. But I could have been making more money if the car note was $400 to $450. Now with economy cars, typically at a buy here, pay here place, your note with a $1,500 or less car note is still going to be like $300. I stay away from anything over $400, $450 when you're talking about buy here, play here places. Anything over there is kind of absurd. So usually when I go to buy here, pay place, I already tell them I'm looking for, like, listen, I need my car note to be no more than $300 a month. I need a car under 100,000 miles. I don't care what it is. It just can't be a manual, and it has to have 4 doors. Not that I got anything against 2 doors, because smart cars do good too, but I just prefer 4-door cars for the most part for my inventory. So with that many cars, as long as you got like a good $300 car note, you'll be fine. Typically, your average economy car should make that car note within a week's time. That's depending on the level of coverage you choose as far as your insurance and what you decide to go with. You can typically make that within 7 to 10 business days, renting out your car on Turo. Now, if you choose getaround, you'll make that way faster. You'll probably make it in probably 4 or 5 days. My average economy car on getaround before I had problems with them was making about $1,200 a month. So you minus the $300, minus maybe $75 to $100 for insurance. You're looking at about an $800 profit on a little cheap economy car. That's after you pay the car note. That's after you pay the car insurance. That's just one car. So I got some buy here, pay here lots where they literally call me. They know what I do. Well, at least the worker do. You know what I mean? Maybe not the owner, but the worker knows what I do. So he said, "Hey man, I got a Honda Elantra up here, man. It's about $7,000 down. I only got 90,000 miles on it. You want it? I'll go check it out. If I like it, I'll get it." And they let me get as many cars as I want. I got about 3 cars now. You may not have that same luck. You may have to go to different dealerships, which can be tricky when you're talking about buy here, pay here places, because everyone does business different. Some buy here, pay here places are reputable and credible. Some are shit. So make sure you check the reviews out. Make sure you check the car out. Now, just because they got bad reviews don't mean that the car may be shit, but that's up to you and your mechanic to decide what to do. So, like I said, $500, $1,500, anybody can save that up. Anybody can get that up. Hell, tax season is damn approaching. If you can't invest $1,500 into a business model, you shouldn't even be looking at this video, because this actually is way more costly than that. But you take on average one economy car on a platform like getaround or hyrecar. Those cars are typically making about, I lowball it and say about 10,000 a year. Typically it could be a little bit more, 11, 12, but I say 10 grand a year. That's how I see these economy cars. I see $10,000 a year. That's what I see. So you take it, you get you 4 or 5 economy cars, and that's another thing. If you have a full-time job, don't go over more than 2 or 3 cars, because it can be a little tedious sometimes. But you get your 4 or 5 cars like that. That's $5 grand a month. That's after you're paying the car notes, after you're paying the car insurance, and after getaround is getting their take. That's what I take home, and I have proof of my account and I can show y'all. But that's typically what I'm expecting. I'm expecting about an $800-900 profit per car. So that's a quick way to get into it. The easier way is credit or buying cars cash. I would recommend once you're doing, now here's the thing, when I invest in a buy here, pay here car, I don't consider profits for like 3-4 months. That's just me, that's just my mind. I do that because I know I need to recoup my down payment money back, and I plan on taking the profits to go get another car. Because at this point, you can start buying cars for cash. After you got about 4 or 5 cars in your rotation and car notes, you're making about $3,500 to $4,000 a month. So what I'm doing, what I did in the beginning, I just started taking about $2,500, $3,000. I had a friend who had an auction, and I'm car savvy, so I can go to the auction and pinpoint a car. And usually on an economy car, if some shit is that bad, it's easy to fix. You know what I mean? Like I got a Dodge Dart one time, and it just needed a new battery. So it was like $50. You know what I mean? It was nothing. So, that was typically it. So I just started buying cars cash. So you go to the auction, I see a Nissan Versa. What was sell on Craigslist for $5 grand is going into auction for $3,000 or $2,800, and then I just go buy a car and just grow my fleet from there. Now there is risk involved with buy here, pay here, is because you're having that money up front. Your car can get totaled out the first week, the first 2 weeks, 3 weeks. it's all a risk. That's just what it is. I mean, that's what any business model. There's really no business model you can invest in, and there's not a risk that you'll lose money. So just know that with economy cars, that is a possibility. You could get your car wrecked. In most cases, when a car get wrecked in a buy here, pay here place, and they pay that car off, there's no money left. You're not getting money back. They're not going to say, okay, well, you did this. Here's the extra $1,500. Now, sometimes you may lock up. Like at Turo, one time, I had a total loss on my BMW 5 Series, and they totaled that car out. I think it was worth about, I think I owed on the car like maybe 18 grand, and they paid me out like 20. So I got an extra 2,000. I just took the 2,000, got another car. But that's not every car. Some cars don't hold their value that well. Everything is a case-by-case basis. The condition of the car, the features in the car. Does it have DVD? Does it have GPS, roll-up windows, manual? All that matters. So I can't say, that you're going to get some money back to go get another car. But that's why typically if I'm going to do the buy here, pay here thing, I'm going to go get 2-3 cars in that day or within that week. Just my peace of mind is, okay, I need to expect by the end of the year, one of these cars may be here, or they might be down for maintenance. Sometimes it's like, since I've been doing this, total losses, I've only had 2. That's out of all 20 some cars I got, I've only had 2 total losses. A Malibu, no, I had 3. A Malibu, a Hyundai Azera, and maybe one other car. So that's something that you do have to think about. I hope this video really helps you guys. I know I sound a little bit distracted. It just people keep calling me. I really need to get to this Airbnb business, find out what this scammer want, and see what they need. But if you guys got any questions, any concerns, feel free to leave a comment below. Like I said, I'm gonna be leaving content probably on a daily, at least every 2-3 days, to keep you guys updated with my business. Trying to help you guys grow your business, because there's plenty of money for everybody, especially me. I know it is for me. I'm in Atlanta, man. Like, I got the biggest airport in the world. There's no reason for me to be selfish and not give you guys the information. Like, I only have 24 cars. That means only 24 people can book my cars. That's not a lot of people compared to how many people go through the fucking airport. So I don't have to be greedy and keep secrets from y'all. So I like helping. So thanks a lot, guys. I'll catch y'all next time.